Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about US tax terms. Uh, there are three US tax terms that are in US. What it is tax terms is like who pays the tax to the government. Okay, there are like in US, there are three tax terms which are W-2. One is W-2, second is 1099, and the third is Corp-to-Corp. Okay, there are three tax terms in US. One is W-2, second is 1099, and third is Corp-to-Corp. Now I'll explain you in detail what W-2 is, what 1099 is, and what Corp-to-Corp is. So like if you are a US employee, no sorry, if you are a US citizen, sorry. Okay, so there was some problem. I was not able to write on the board, so I took a break. Okay, so if you are a US citizen, you can go to a company, Microsoft, attend an interview and get a job. And if you get a permanent job, you will be working on W-2. Okay, and you are a citizen, you go to Microsoft, you get a job, and if you are working on contract, you will be working on 1099. Okay, this is permanent job. You are a US citizen, you go to Microsoft, you get a job, permanent job. You will be working on W-2, and if you get a contract job, you will be working on 1099. Okay, most probably. So in W-2, what happens is company pays the taxes. W-2 company pays. In W-2, company pays your taxes. In 1099, you a US citizen, you are responsible for, you pay. In W-2, the company pays the taxes, and in 1099, you yourself are responsible for paying the taxes. And so that's how it is. In W-2, the company pays the taxes. In 1099, the employee pays the taxes. And most probably, if you get a permanent job, you will be working on W-2. And if you get a contract job, uh, you most probably you will be working on 1099, and sometimes there are contracts on W-2 also. So contract is like you will be working for a limited number of hours for the company. Okay, permanent W-2, and the company pays the taxes. Contract can be on, most probably it is on 1099, but sometimes I have seen job descriptions in which the contract is on W-2. Okay, so if you are working on W-2, the company will pay taxes, and if you are working on 1099, you yourself are responsible for paying the tax. Okay. Then there is one more thing, that is Corp-to-Corp. I'll explain you what Corp-to-Corp is. Corp to corp. Corp to corp is very related to H1B. H1B visa. Yes. Okay. So if you are not a US citizen, you can't not US citizen. If you are not a US citizen and you want to work for Microsoft, you can't work directly for Microsoft. Uh, you have to have an employer. Okay, you have to have an employer. How it is okay, cop to cop. Uh, you are not a US citizen and you want to work for Microsoft. Okay, so if you want to work for Microsoft, you can't work for Microsoft directly. You should have an employer. So how it is Microsoft needs a Java developer. Okay, and so there is an employer in USA. Okay, his name is Bob. Bob is an employer, and you are a Java developer. Okay, you will be and here there is Microsoft. Okay, Bob is an employer. Bob is an employer. This is Microsoft. This is you. You are a Java developer who wants to work for Microsoft, and you are not a US citizen. So what happens is this Bob, he is an employer. He will sponsor your visa. You are Java developer. He will Bob, an employer, will sponsor. He will sponsor your visa, and you will provide service to Microsoft. Okay, Bob is an employer. You are a Java developer. You are not a US citizen. He will Bob will sponsor your H1B visa. Okay, Bob is an employer. You are a Java developer. You want to Microsoft work for some Microsoft. You will be providing your Java development your software service to Microsoft, but you are not working for Microsoft directly. You are working through Bob. I'll explain you guys again. Non-US citizen. Non-US cop to cop is related to non-US citizens H1B visas. Okay, so if you are a Java developer and you want to work for Microsoft, you can't just go and work directly for Microsoft. You need to have an employer. So Bob, employer. He will You are working for Bob, and you are a Java developer, and this is Microsoft. So cop to cop is service is transaction of services between Bob and Microsoft. Okay, so you will be providing service to Microsoft, and but Bob is a corporation employer. Microsoft is a corporation. Okay, so Microsoft will be paying Bob for your services, and Bob will pay you. Okay, you Java developer, Bob will pay you. So if you are not a US citizen, you can't work directly. You need H1B visa to work for a US company. So how H1B visas work is, there will be an employer and you will be that employer with Bob. Example, Bob is an employer who will sponsor your visa, that is pay for your visa. Okay, Bob, there will be Bob, an employer who will be paying for your visa, H1B visa, and you are a Java developer and you will be providing service to Microsoft. Okay, and Microsoft, it is like Bob is providing services to Microsoft, and you will be you will be you are a Java developer. Okay, so you, if you are not an US citizen, you can't work directly for Microsoft. You will have to have an employer, for example Bob, and Bob will pay for your visa. Okay, and you will be providing service to your Java development service, Java your software service to Microsoft. So and Microsoft will pay you, and no, Microsoft will pay Bob, and Bob will pay you. I'll explain once again. Bob is an employer. Microsoft is a company who needs a Java developer. Okay, and you are a Java developer who is not a US citizen. So what happens is, developer, you are a Java developer and you are not a US citizen. So what happens is, um, you will be providing you will be working for Microsoft through Bob. Okay, Microsoft will pay Bob and Bob will pay you, and Bob is responsible for sponsoring your visa. Okay, if you are not a US citizen, you can't work for a company directly. You need to have an employer. An employer will pay for your visa, and you will be providing services to, like, companies like Microsoft and all that. Okay, I hope you understood the concept of W2 1099 and Corp-to-Corp.